everyone and welcome back to Tropical Marine Centre. Colette here. Today's video we're going to be doing a part 2 following on from the Next Wave 85 unboxing that we did last week. So this Saturday we're going to be showing you me popping the rockscape in and what the rockscape actually is. I'm going to be filling it with water, adding the bacteria and getting this tank cycled. I'll be showing you what we use to test and throughout the cycle to test the water parameters, and we'll also be showing you potentially what the first fish will be that we'll be adding into this tank. Now I won't be adding the first fish on this video, so don't worry, we're not doing anything too quickly, but I have already chosen the fish that I want to be added first when the tank is completely cycled, so I'll be showing you that as well today through in the fish house. So if you want to see all of that, please stay tuned throughout this video to see the ending as well. Okay, so I'm now going to talk about the bacteria that I'll be adding into this tank to start its cycle. Now once I've added the water, I'll be adding in the nitrobiotic from tropic marine bacteria. This bacteria is a probiotic and nitrifying bacteria, so it starts your fish cycle quick. It's great. So with this, you add 1 ml per 100 litres. So for myself, I'm adding 0.85 ml into this tank when I start it off, the cycle. You then go down to a weekly dosing of half the amount that you initially added to start the cycle. So just remember that and bear that in mind when you are wanting to use this product. You can continue your dosing weekly to add more nitrifying and probiotic bacteria into the tank weekly. Okay, so just before we actually add the water into this tank, I just wanted to show you what substrate I went for in the end. Now some people like bare bottom tanks with no sand, some people like fine sand and some people like coarse sand. I've specifically chosen the coarse sand, which I used for the Next Wave 60, as you can see here. Reason being is because I love that the snails and the hermits still love the sand itself, but it's not blowing away all over the place with a wave maker. So that's personally why I like that preference of sand. So I've stuck with that and I'm going to use this bag again to actually fill the Next Wave 85 with. First thing I need to do is actually go and wash the sand. So this sand needs washing thoroughly quite a few times. So I'm going to go and do that before I actually add it into the tank, and then we'll get the tank wet, okay?
So a little bit about this sand. The EcoSand is a sustainable alternative to real coral reef sand. It offers excellent buffering capacity. It's made exclusively for Tropical Marine Centre from recovered sea-washed British shells. No dyes or bleach used during the production, and it's low carbon footprint. Perfect for marine and reef aquariums as well as high pH freshwater tanks. Like I said, you can see from this you do need to rinse it quite a few times to get all of the dust off, so it's ready to use inside the tank. Now it's washed, let's get it inside the tank. Now I am actually going to lift up the piece of rock and pop the sand underneath so that it is balanced evenly.
Okay, so I've started the process of adding the water. Now what I'm doing is I'm using a smaller bucket to add the water from the bigger bucket, and I'm actually using the rockwork to take the most of the water, so it's just dripping down slowly. And it's trickling through the rock. So usually I would use a bowl or a plate when I'm adding my water, or 2 tubes into the rockwork when I'm adding water into a tank. This time I've decided not to do that because the rockwork is so big in terms of covering the space area of the tank. It's great as a little bit of a funnel. So I've taken, as you probably have noticed, the light off while I fill up the tank with water. Okay, so we've added in all of the water now. As you can see, it's slightly cloudy. All I need to do is get the return pump started, which I'm just about to switch on, and then I'll be adding the nitrobiotic by Tropic Marine probiotic and nitrifying bacteria to start the cycle. So let's get this switched on. And let's get this added in. Just going to clean out the syringe and then pop that water back in there. So that is it in terms of the water, the sand, the substrate. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you into the fish house. I'm going to show you the fish that is going to be the first fish that enters this tank when it's completely cycled and everything's done. I'm also going to be showing you what we test our parameters with for this tank, so that we're checking the cycle, same thing that we do for this tank as well.
So I brought you into the fish house now to show you the main centerpiece fish that will be going into the Next Wave 85 first. So this fish is the marbled scorpino fish. It is a bottom dwelling fish, so just be aware of that when you are choosing your fish as to where they usually sit within the tank. This one sits mainly on the bottom and it isn't going to be classed as a beginner fish. The reason for that is because it is venomous. The dorsal fins that you see on top when it was raised when I first showed you this, they do have spines with venom inside, so you do need to be careful when you've got your hands inside the tank because you don't want to get a nasty sting from this fish. However, this fish for me, with me not being a beginner, is a great fish to add to this tank. We do always give you a recommended list of fish that you can add to your Next Wave 85 if you are a beginner, so please take a little look at that if you are wanting some help picking.
Okay, so I just wanted to talk to you about the testing kits that we use to check our parameters of the water, and to check the cycle that the tank's going through, and also to check the other different elements that are inside the tank. So we do use the Celifert testing kits along with the Professional Lab testing kit by Tropic Marine. So you can actually purchase these through your local TMC stockist. We distribute these all over the EU and in the UK, for Tropic Marine and for Celifert. So you can check your local TMC stockist for both of these different testing kits. We highly recommend both of these brands, and we think that these brands are second to none when it comes to testing. So there's been a little bit of a change, and I've decided to change the Scape that I put initially inside this tank. I'm now going to be using the Eco Reef Box Selection A. So Selection A has some great pieces in that you can build your own Scape with. So what I've done so far is I've got a polystyrene cutout. It happens to be one of the tops of one of our boxes. I've then popped it over the top of this tank, not for very long, so don't worry about the light being on top there. And I have just carved out kind of corners of where I want my Scape to finish in. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take some tape, and then going to use the tape to kind of carve out an outline for myself, so that I know not to go past this tape when I'm doing my Scape. So it's giving me a border to know what I can work with when I'm creating this Scape. Okay, so I'm hoping that you can see this on the camera, but there is an outline of tape all the way around. I'm just going to shine this so that you can see the outline ever slightly better. It is clear tape to you guys, but I can see the outline on here. So I'm then going to take the pieces that I think I might want, and then I'm going to try and scape them out within this. There might be parts that I need to snip off or break to create the Scape, but I'm going to have a little look with what I've got and see what I can create. I'll also be using our Coralline putty, and the Coralline putty will actually mould both of the pieces of rock together, or each piece of rock that I decide to use with my Scape together. Okay, so I'm just going to grab the first piece of rock that I can see from inside the box. This is a really nice piece of rock. I can see quite a lot of holes for the fish and the invertebrates to get in and out already. So that in itself is really nice. I'm going to get that sat kind of where I think I might want it. Now, scaping, I personally think is an art in itself. It's something that can take a long time, and it's also a process that you might not want to do within a day. I'm going to be doing it within a day today because I want to get it inside this tank so that it's starting that cycle with some rock inside. But it might be something that takes you a long time. If you are not in a rush, it could be something that you look at and change over months of time or weeks of time. And is worth taking your time with it, because it's going to be in your tank long term and you don't really want to have to move it about, or if you are putting it into place, it's not something that you necessarily can easily change if you wanted to. And rock's not cheap, so it is worth getting it right the first time round. Okay, so the rock scape is now completely done. I've popped it all inside the tank and I'm going to take you up close and personal to see exactly what we've gone for. Now, I'm really happy with how the scape looks. There is a bridge to the rock scape, and that's exactly what I wanted for the peninsula. You can have quite a lot of corals spread out and also have enough caves inside there for the different fish that will be swimming in and out. So I'm going to take you up now. Okay, so it is a little bit murky still because we did only add water yesterday, but as you can see here, there is a cave at the bottom and also at the top. I'm going to take you as close as I can to the tank. So that is one side. I'll take you face on and then side on. You can see that big cave in the middle, and then there's also little caves in between the rockwork as well. So you can see another one there. And there we go, Rockscape is complete. That's it from me today at Tropical Marine Centre. Thank you to everyone that has watched part 2 of the Next Wave 85 unboxing video and creating this amazing tank. The next part, or the next episode should I say, will be the Next Wave Diaries, and it will show what we will be adding first into the tank once it's completely cycled. So I hope you've all enjoyed it, and thank you very much for watching. If you do want to be aware of further videos in the future, every Saturday 6 PM over on YouTube you will find a new video, and you can click the notification bell to be reminded. Now, the link in the description bar or bio on our social media will take you over to all our other channels and our website, where you can check your local TMC stockist of anything that you've seen in today's video. So thank you again, take care everyone.